What's happening, podcasters? My name is Sebastian Rusk, and I help marketers and entrepreneurs just like you launch successful podcasts. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 things that I firmly believe that you must have in order to launch a podcast. Let's get started. First things first, when launching a podcast show, you've got to be able to call it something. So of course you need a podcast name. So what do I call my show? Well, that's entirely up to you. My show is called The Seb Rusk Show on Social Buzz On Air. Why? Well, because my name's Seb Rusk. So it needs to associate with your brand. It doesn't have to be identical to it, but it definitely needs to complement your brand. Now, my friend Apollonia Ponte, who's a dating coach and a YouTube sensation, recently launched her podcast with us. And instead of branding it under her name, Apollonia Ponte, that she's known for on YouTube, her brand is strong enough on YouTube to be able to support another brand associating with it, which would be her podcast strategy. So she conveniently named her podcast The Female Algorithm. You see how that works? Dating coach, The Female Algorithm, all the same topic, but not identical names. So come up with something crafty, something short, something memorable. But once you've got that, then you can jump into what our next step is, which is starting the whole branding process with your logo and all that fun stuff. All right, so you've come up with the best podcast name ever. Now it's time to create a logo. With a logo, you're gonna be able to do a lot of things. First of all, your branding will start from there. You've got a name, you'll have a logo, you can post it on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn and tell people coming soon, stay tuned for a new podcast, and really start teasing that process even before you start recording any episodes. That's the fun part about the internet, is that you can start talking about stuff before it actually happens. So a great place to get a logo is from a freelancer, 99 Designs, freelancer.com, fiverr.com. That's Fiverr with 2 R's at the end. Very economical way to be able to find some very, very good graphic design talent and get yourself a logo at a very economical price. I think I pay like 20 or 25 bucks per logo because I utilize a freelancer. Now, a freelancer is not like having a graphic designer on staff or somebody where you can just walk over to the other office and say, hey, here's what I need, or call a local friend. It's a little bit more babysitting because you have to tell that designer, they don't know anything about you, you have to tell that designer exactly what you want the logo to look like and it to represent, and they walk you through this process. So freelancer is the best way to go, but get yourself a logo. So you've got a show name, you've got a show logo, now it's time to get yourself something to record on. Now, let me be clear about this. Your iPhone voice recorder has a great mic as long as you're in a very quiet place. And when I say quiet place, I mean like your closet. If it has carpet, even if it doesn't, sometimes your clothes that are in there will muffle the sound. Great place to record. I do a lot of voiceovers in there. I do a lot of voiceovers in my car. Obviously, you may not want to just go sit in your car and record, but you may be stuck in traffic to be able to do that. Now, there's tons of microphone options out there. It's not a difficult process whatsoever, but you need to get something that's gonna make you sound a little fancy and a little professional, and a USB condenser mic will do just that. Now, this mic right here, although it is a real microphone, is not a condenser mic per se, and not the one we're utilizing for this video. And this mic right here, this is the good old-fashioned Blue Snowball mic. This will run you about 40 or 50 bucks on Amazon. They have a whole bundle kit where you can get this pop filter. So when you say P type of words, your microphone doesn't crack or pop. So this filter comes all together. I think you can get the whole bundle with a headset for around $70 or $75. Yeah, this arm is just a simple arm that connects to any desk, and then you can take your Blue Snowball that comes with a normal stand that would just sit on your desk and unscrew it and be able to attach it to this here. So you're really official. I've got my Beat headphones on here just as a prop, really, to show the whole equipment microphone thing, but I also have a pair of studio headphones right here that I plug in. These come with a lot of the Blue Snowball bundles, so you can get the handle, the pop filter, the mic, and the headset, all for less than 100 bucks. I think it'll run you around $80 or $85. Again, Amazon is your place for that. Now, what do I do when I get the mic, Sebastian? Well, you're going to plug it in. So it's literally plug and play. You're gonna take the USB and plug it right into your laptop or your machine and open up GarageBand or Audacity or whatever sound audio recording software you decide to use, and that software will recognize the mic. It'll say, do you want to use your Blue Snowball, or do you want to use your old-fashioned mic, or do you want to use a wireless mic, and you choose that. That'll be in another lesson. We'll go a little bit more in depth on how all that works, but I at least wanted to say, hey, it's not hard to find yourself a decent microphone. If you don't want to get a good microphone, you don't have to do that either. Where's it at right here? I've got this bad boy. This is a lapel mic. It goes right on your lapel right here. It's wired. It can hook right into your smartphone or iPad with their little extender, no problem, and it has outstanding sound. A lot of people utilize this when they're on the go because you can record yourself in the car or what have you. You can record a podcast episode if you're stuck in traffic because all you're doing is plugging the mic in and hitting the voice recorder. So it doesn't have to be difficult. Just find yourself a mic, find a mic that works for you, whether it's a condenser mic or it's a lapel mic or it's just utilizing the voice recorder. It's entirely up to you. All right, so we've got a name, we've got a logo, hopefully you've got a mic by now. Now it's time to sign up for a hosting account for your podcast, for the audio file. So when you record a podcast, it creates an audio file. That audio file needs to be uploaded to a hosting account. You're seeing some examples pop up here on hosting platforms that are available. I use Pippa.io. I like it because of the distribution. I upload one episode, it gets distributed to 8 different areas: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, etc. So time-wise, I don't have to take my one episode and upload it to all these different platforms. I upload it to one hosting platform and it distribute it from there. SoundCloud, not so much on the distribution. Libsyn may help out with a few different channels on there. It's entirely up to you. They all range between $10 and $25 a month, but you must have a hosting account in order to have a podcast. You upload your files to that hosting account, and on that hosting account, they provide you with an RSS feed. That's a URL that you'll submit to iTunes and Spotify and all the other distribution channels out there where they need that URL so that every time you upload a new episode, they're able to pull that episode directly into iTunes and Google Podcast, etc. So not difficult at all. All of these platforms have incredible customer service. Again, I am privy to Pippa just because of the distribution. I think it's awesome and very easy to use. So if you want to sign up for Pippa, there's a link to the bottom in the description here, and then you can also sign up for SoundCloud and Libsyn. Whatever preference you decide, just get yourself a hosting account. All right, the most important part, recording your episodes. So you've got your branding down pat, you've got your mic, you've got your hosting account, you're ready to upload your first few episodes. I recommend recording 4 episodes right out of the gate. Couple reasons why. Well, first of all, we're living in this binge watch, binge listen world where we want to watch the entire season today and do nothing else, and listen to the entire season today and do nothing else. So it's very anticlimactic to upload and launch your podcast show with one episode. People are going to listen to the episode and be like, hey, I'm really excited. Oh, there was only one episode. I have to wait to the next one. If you launch with 4, they can really get a feel of the show in the first 4 episodes. So I recommend creating 4 topics or finding 4 videos that are longer than 7 minutes where you can repurpose the audio. Maybe you've recorded a really good training, or you've done a talk, or you were on a panel, or just a really good conversation and content happened, and you can utilize that audio to be able to create a podcast episode. You put an intro on there, you explain what the episode's about, you put the actual repurposed audio, and then outro on there, and that allows you to produce an episode. So there's a couple different ways that you can create podcast episodes, but just like my good friend Brian Fanzo says, just press the damn button. That's the most important part. Just start creating. Don't worry about being judged about how you're actually creating. Just start creating. 4 episodes right out of the gates really going to put you ahead of the game, and you're going to create some momentum for yourself. You're going to go, you know what? I got this whole podcast thing. And there's nothing like being ahead. When you're behind, we're not motivated. When we're ahead, we create momentum. So go. Get those first 4 episodes recorded. All right, so you've done a lot of the hard work already. You got yourself a name, you got yourself a logo, you got a microphone, you've done some recording of your episodes. Now it's time to actually upload your episodes to iTunes. I always say start with iTunes and then go from there. Unless, of course, your hosting platform allows you to submit to multiple platforms. And if you sign up for your hosting account, you can also sign up for where they're being distributed to. So a lot of platforms are showing up, specifically Pippa, like I use, that allows you to distribute to multiple platforms. But first things first is you've already signed up for your hosting account. Your hosting account will provide you with an RSS feed. Okay, an RSS feed looks like this. This feed is unique to your channel. Next step is to go to iTunes Connect, which is Apple's back-end connection center, where you'll go and submit your podcast to be put into the iTunes podcast store. That's itunesconnect.apple.com. You're gonna go, and once you're logged in, you're gonna go create new podcast. It's gonna ask you for your RSS feed. You're gonna copy and paste that RSS feed, yours from your channel, directly into the space provided. Click validate. Once it's validated, it's going to give you a green light. Once you've got the green light, you can then submit it. That's about 24 to 72 hours, and iTunes will have your show in their store. And talk about gaining momentum and getting excited. you're gonna get really, really fired up about this. Now, don't get hung up on the RSS feed. All of your hosting platforms, Libsyn, SoundCloud, Pippa, they all make it very easy to provide the RSS feed. Otherwise, their help section will point it out precisely for you on there. So really simple process. You just gotta follow the step-by-steps in order to do it. It's just finding that RSS feed from your hosting channel, submitting it on iTunes Connect, and then just waiting. All right, you got a show live, ladies and gentlemen. The show is in the iTunes podcast store, and you are off to the races. Hopefully you've done 4 episodes. Now, what do you do next? You tell people about it. That's right. Find the link to your show in iTunes and start sharing it with people. Take your logo and post it on Instagram and tell people that there's a link in your bio and put your iTunes link in your bio so people can just click on it. Most people have iPhones, so the iTunes podcast app will pop right up. That's a separate app. FYI, you can pull that up in the App Store. It's iTunes Podcast. So it's not the iTunes app, it's not the iTunes Store, it's the podcast app, and it's purple. And that's where your show is going to live. It's a great way to be able to access your show. You can always go in there and where it says share, you can find the URL to your show, etc. Find people on Messenger, text people that you know, write a blog post about your show, tell people about it, right? Right out of the gates, your launch, you're going to want to talk to people about what you're doing here. It's very important. Your show is very important, and people want to hear what you have to say, but you must tell them about it. And you must do it multiple times without being annoying. Just multiple times. Maybe today, and maybe another time on a day or 2 from now. Not every day, all day, but have some sort of cadence that's not abrasive, that people understand and will appreciate. But you gotta get out there and tell people. A podcast that just gets launched is like having a billboard in the middle of the woods. Unless anyone sees it, it's kind of irrelevant. So you must tell people about it. Once you start telling people about it, they start talking about it, and then they start sharing it. And that, my friends, is the best part about it.